We are now proceeding to the next session. We have a bit more time for this session, but this is very useful because we would like first to show you, to give you a preview of what you will see on the demonstration booth that will be located on where we will have lunch. And then to tell a few words about the posters that we received and that will be also shown in the where we will have lunch at the end of the corridor. So I would start now with the free preview of the demonstrations of the free conformance checkers, of the free tools that we developed during the project. As you might know already, we have three consortia that developed during the project three different software to check the quality and the conformance of our digital files against the standard specification and against the specific criteria of the memory institutions. One for electronic documents, which is called Vera PDF. One for still images, which is called DPF Manager, and the third one on audiovisual files, which is called MediaConch. So I would like to start with Carl and Boris from the Vera PDF Consortium, who will show you a very quick introduction to this software. And of course, as I said already, you can see it live and have a live demo or hands-on session during this afternoon and also tomorrow morning during the second part of the conference.
Yeah, hi. My name's Carl Wilson. I'm from the Open Preservation Foundation, one of the lead organizations for the Vera PDF Consortium. And I'd like to introduce Boris Dubrov, who's he's head of the Dual Labs, who are our main development. They've provided the PDF expertise to Vera PDF. Okay, yes, and our subcontracted developers. So yeah, I'd like to just give you a brief introduction to the Vera PDF software we've developed as part of Performa. Sorry, it's quite low down for me. And we're not going to give a demo here. The idea is that if you want a demonstration or to know more about the software, you come and see us at the end of the corridor over the course of the next couple of days. Okay. So we'll have to change that. Okay then. So the first slide was a little bit about the Perform projects, but you've heard about that from the previous speakers. Yes, it might be easier. Thank you. Yes, yeah. Yeah, the Vera PDF development has been funded by the Performa project. You know the acronym. You know the project's main aims, but yes, suffice to say, without the funding we've had, the Vera PDF project the Vera PDF development wouldn't have taken place. So a little bit about the consortium. It's led by a combination of the Open Preservation Foundation, who I'm representing, and Becky, my colleagues, with us here as well. The PDF Association, who are a professional association of PDF software developers, I think based in Germany, the organization really, but yeah, they were our main partner, providing oversight from the PDF industry, so really checking the test data that we produced and the software and our interpretation of the standards. They were our double check, really. We had a separate technical working group who reviewed everything we did, basically. And then our key partners, who are Dual Labs, the main developers led by Boris, Keep Solutions, who are a small, not so small now, open source developers of open source solutions in digital preservation based in Portugal, and the Digital Preservation Coalition based in the UK. We're just going to give a quick overview of where we are with the software at the moment as it stands. So our last release was August 17th. And at this stage of the conformance checker, which is it's a validator for PDFA formats, the conformance checker has full support for all PDFA versions and the conformance levels, which are 8 different flavors as we refer to them ourselves. You can see them listed in the drop down at the side. There's a GUI desktop version, which we'll be mostly demonstrating, a CLI version, a command line version, which is really for integration into more automated workflows. We have an online web demonstration based on a set of web services, and finally the underlying Java library, which has a relatively stable and coherent API, which can be called from Java applications. And again, yeah, so this has been developed as open source software under the terms of the Performer licensing, Mozilla Public License and GPL, allowing anyone to use the results free. And the test data sets and all the documentation, as again stipulated by Performer, are all released under the CC Creative Commons license. And we have a fairly active open source community now with outside contributions, and we've certainly had an awful lot of oversight from the PDF industry. Recent developments have been particularly around a way of allowing people to create policy files easy. So the idea of policy files within Performer was to allow you to add additional checks beyond the standard that that's enforced by the software. So in our case, additional checks beyond the PDFA standards. We've implemented that as schematron, which requires some XML expertise from the people writing the policies. What we've done recently is introduce this GUI for policy to allow non-experts, hopefully, to produce policy files themselves. So that's something we're still working on at the moment, and we'll continue to work on beyond the end of the project. Also, I might even let Boris take over here and just say a little bit about PDF2, because he's more of the expert here.
Yes, thank you, Carl. Yeah, well, as Carl mentioned already, we bring expertise of PDF technology into this project. We've been developing with PDF for more than 10 years. We are members of this PDF association. So in particular, one of the latest highlights of the work of PDF association was the release of the new PDF 2.0 standard. It was published in July this year, and well, unlike earlier versions of PDF available only for purchase at ISO website, iso.org website, it is not yet a part of preservation world, but it is expected that new standards like probably PDF A4 will appear somewhere in the coming 2 years. We are quite early in the game, so we added the support for the format itself and the feature extraction. So if you want to analyze or build policies around PDF 2.0, even if there are no relevant PDFA standards, the tool is here. And of course, we are getting more and more interesting requests around stability of the tool, processing large collections of files, huge documents. So there is always a lot of work around testing, optimization, stability. And one of the examples of recent integrations and partnerships was the development of a web crawler, integration of Vera PDF into a web crawler. So the tool that detects, so crawls for all PDF documents on a given domain and verifies whether they satisfy PDFA requirements or not. So this is definitely not so it's just a short summary of things that are going on now. And the main aim of this slide is to demonstrate that even if you are close to the end of Performer project, the development is very much active. The future, well, I'll probably address this as well. So both Open Preservation Foundation and DOALAP are committed to further support the tool. As a minimal level of support, we will continue addressing bugs reported at GitHub. So all code is placed at GitHub, and we've got quite some number of issues reported there. We are addressing them all. So if you have any issues about the software, don't hesitate to report them via GitHub. We are also monitoring all new feature requests and trying to allocate the development resources to implement them. We are, well, depending on funding, well, this will be included in sooner or later in the new releases. And of course, whenever you have just generic questions on how the tool works, how to use it in an optimal way, whether your files, if you have any surprises with your test files, you can always send messages to the mailing list, and again, somebody will provide the answer to you. I'll pass by microphone back to Carl here.
Yeah, the only other thing to talk about is a little bit about what we might like to do in the future. Realizing that on the screen, the contrast between the colors that's supposed to highlight the most important points isn't so great. But yeah, so we're functionally complete for PDFA, but we still see there's work to be done for one example, as you'll see on the next slide, is developing validators for the other parts of the PDF standard. PDFA is just a small niche in a family of standards. And the other parts of the standard are important. People will get files that are non-PDFA files, so dealing with those. VeraPDF supports a plugin mechanism that allows people, developers, to write software that would be plugged into VeraPDF via an API and to do further validation of embedded objects, be that fonts, attached files, etc. So helping to develop that plugin system a little more. We're doing some work at the moment with an organization in Germany that work on a Zugford standard, which is an XML standard for electronic invoices that uses PDFA3 as the human readable document version of the interface with an attached XML machine interpretable version of the invoice. So yeah, we're working then to develop a plugin that would help validate Zugford invoice files, is one example. We're also interested in better integration of VeraPDF with commercial preservation systems, some of the digital repository systems, commercial systems that exist at the moment. And we're interested in helping people create more complex policy schematron that really reflects collections of real institutions' acceptance criteria and finding ways of allowing institutions to share those, leverage each other's work. So just briefly, that's an overview of the family of PDF standards. The ringed one at the end is the full PDF 1.7 standard, ISO 32000, which, although we have a PDFA validator, we don't have a full PDF validator yet, and there still doesn't exist a genuine open source validator for the full PDF standards. And the other substandards listed on the page. So at the moment, we only have one standard out of a whole family. And the final message really here is that has been partnership. Many institutions alone don't have the expertise and cannot have the expertise in-house for every format that they collect and preserve. And the PDF family of formats is widely used in digital preservation. We have only one part of the specification. We have a validator for one part of that specification at the moment. So yeah, we feel that the VeraPDF consortium has bridged the gap between memory institutions and industry and managed to create a reasonably successful product. But yes, we still see there is more to do. So anyone who's interested, do come down to the end of the corridor and see us. Thank you. Yeah.
I am Victor Munoz from Easy Innova, and our tool is the TPF Manager. In our consortium is formed by three entities. One is Innova. This is a spin-off of the University of Girona. The second one is the University of Girona itself. And finally also the University of Basel in Switzerland. And at the right side we can see some of the people that have worked during these years on the project. The project had three main goals. The first one was to create a new standard for TIFF images prepared for preservation, because it didn't exist before. It existed for PDF, that is the PDF-A, but for TIFF, it didn't exist any format specific for preservation. So we started this initiative and created, with the help of the University of Basel, the TA standard. That we can say now that it is finished and it has been submitted to ISO and it is following its steps to become a standard for preservation in TIFF. The second goal of our project was to create the DPF manager, that is a conformance checker for TIFF images related to a specific specification. And finally, also, of course, to create a community around this project. Now I am focusing on the DPF Manager tool, that is a conformance checker for TIFF images for digital preservation. So it is an application that receives as input a set of TIFF files and also specifications of TIFF. These specifications can be the standard specifications created by Adobe. They have many. Or it can be also the TA standard that we have designed. And then the DPF manager produces as a result a report that says whether the files conform with these specifications or not. And if not, it says which are the errors and also hints on how to solve the errors that have been found. Well, this is an open source project. You can download it on GitHub and use it for everything and distribute and contribute. The current version is 3.5.1, released the past month. And well, this is the list of features that has. I will not enter into detail about that. I wanted to make a demo of the program, but my computer is not working now. So if you want to see the demo, come to the live sessions room at the afternoon. So thank you.
Hi. MediaAware is a company focused on open source digital media analysis, mainly focused on audiovisual. We are different products. One is a metadata extractor called MediaInfo. One is MediaConch, focused on media analysis. It is the tool sponsored by Preforma. And we have a couple of other tools doing some analysis on specific format like BWF MetaEdit or AVI MetaEdit. We also have baseband analysis tools like QC tools. Here I will speak about MediaConch mainly. MediaConch is focused on audiovisual open source format, namely Matroska for the container format, FFV1 for the video format, and PCM for the audio format. MediaConch tools is split in different parts. We have the implementation checker part, so we check the files compared to specifications. And we have also a policy reporter. The policy is not like a specification, it is more focused about policies, and policies are made by you, actually. So we have an implementation report. On the left, it is compared to the specification, so the names are from the specification, and on the right, we have a policy report. It is the name you put and the rules you put on your site if you need to have files more specific to your needs. For example, you may be interested to know how many, if your file is conform to PAL or NTSC, or if you have some HD or not HD, if you have 4K and so on. You can have a MediaInfo report directly in MediaConch, so it is only a report about the features in the file. And if the report is not enough, you can dig byte per byte in the file. So here we have, for example, a Matroska file. So byte per byte, you can dig in the file and see what is the digital representation of each, what is the meaning of each byte in the file. So if you have some difficulties to understand why such file is not compatible, and you don't see the reason, you can check exactly the byte in the file. For having an easy edition of policy, we have a policy editor. So you can take a media info report listing the width, the height, the frame rate, the container format, the bits per pixel, and so on. And with some easy drag and drop, you can put some policies on it, saying that the file must be NTSC or PAL SECAM, or if you want only HD, and so on. We can do a demo of a policy editor on both after the discussion. For people wanting to share policies, we have a public policy page. So some people may want to create their policy for their entity, and they want to share to other people, and we have a place for community, and everyone can share the policy he created. We have also a fixer. Sometimes your file may be corrupt due to some storage issue. And in Matroska, we are an FAV1 too. We have a CRC check, and when there is some one bit or 1 byte issue, we can fix and correct the byte in order to retrieve the original file. MediaConch is also embedded in a tool called Archivematica. So it is a lot used by some archives. So in the workflow of Archivematica, you can add a MediaConch test in order to be sure that the file is valid before continuing in the workflow. MediaConch is provided by, with a graphical interface, with a web interface and a command line, and we have also a server mode automatically scanning the files on your computer. The Matroska files and FFV1 video format are not like PDF or TIFF. There is currently no specific standard, so we are working on the standardization of Matroska and FFV1 with the IETF, which is more focus on standards for the web, and they are also interested to have a lossless compression format. So we are working and make the Matroska container format and FFV1 completely open source standards. If you are interested in working on standards, come. This is a working group, so everyone may come and may join us and talk about the needs they have about lossless compression, about archives. And the Preforma sponsoring is finishing, and now we are looking for sponsor. And this is open source. This is you can download the tool, you can test it, you can edit it, you can change it. But if you don't have the skills for changing it, you can ask us to change, to update, to add some features to the MediaConch. We can add support for other formats, or we can add more tests for the file. And we can also use other tools and to have a common tool with a common GUI. Yeah, the feature we will add in the future, actually, that depends on you. And you are the one who can use MediaConch in your workflow and say what is missing. And you can contact us in order to improve it. So we will do a demo during the afternoon and tomorrow too. And we are eager to have some questions from you. So see you.
All right. Hi. It is very exciting to be here and see so many people interested in digital preservation, sharing information for the common benefit. So I'm Mikko Vatanen from the Finnish IT Center for Science. And one of our services provides this national digital preservation service for our cultural heritage and also this scientific research data. And this is funded by the Ministry of Education and Culture. So our solution provides services for potentially hundreds of partners, and it's scalable to dozens of petabytes of data. So the scale is huge. And our poster is concentrating on the pre-ingest and ingest processes, which are integrating several open source tools together. And it's adaptable for example, in case of technical changes. And our software components are open source and freely available in GitHub. So you're all welcome to discuss with us more about how our contribution would help you in preserving your data better. And thank you, and I hope you see you all soon. Okay, thank you.
I'm Eva-Maria Artus from the National Library of Estonia, and I present you our poster of Digitization Center. Here you can see, not very well, I'm sorry, the beautiful family tree in Estonia, but you can see it closer when we present our poster. And our Digitization Center digitizes our own paper materials, and also we have orders from around the world. We have had quite big popularity, for example, in Asia, and they like our Russian materials, which we didn't value quite when we regained our independence. But now we see that they have been quite popular because many libraries in Europe don't have these materials, and just we have them. And also we make projects for the people who want to digitize their postcards or their books, and we are participating also in EOD project, which is ebook on demand. And please visit our poster during the lunchtime. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Mari Siiner. Our poster is represent digitization in Conservation and Digitization Center in Tallinn. Our center is working mainly for the museums in Estonia. The main topic of this poster is digitizing glass negatives, and with a focus to the technical development of digitization during last 16 years, with the main aim, of course, to create more high-quality picture files. So you all are welcome to read and ask questions during the lunchtime. Thank you.
Hi there, so I'm from the Open Preservation Foundation. We are a not-for-profit membership organisation, and we provide stewardship for several open source digital preservation tools. So the first part of our poster shows the OPF software maturity model. It's based on 5 complementary components. The first is open licensing, to ensure adoption and reuse of the software. The second is quality, to ensure that the software conforms to standards-driven quality assurance. The third is visibility. We make all of our code available on GitHub, and we try to build a set of open test data that people can use. And then finally, we've got community integration, so raising awareness about the software to build an active community, and training to help people understand and use the software. The second part of the poster looks at our development lifecycle. So it starts with requirements from users, which includes bug reports and new feature requests. They then get prioritized by our product board for each release. There's then the testing and development cycle, and then we have the production release. And finally, that starts again, and we get inputs from online hack days and our interest groups, and also the user community. And then we've got just a timeline of the projects and tools that we've adopted. And then at the bottom, the sort of ways you can help. So yeah, come and talk to us, and thank you very much.
Okay, hello, my name is Uwe Kührt from Fraunhofer IDMT. We are partner in the Preforma project, but today I will present another ongoing European project called iMedia Cities. iMedia Cities is not about preservation. iMedia Cities is about accessibility for content. That means how to provide access to your content to the public, to researchers, or to commercial users. We prepared a short introduction video. I do not have a printed poster here, but I would be happy to answer questions later on in the poster session.